church doors slammed shut. The sound echoed through the empty street like a gunshot. Ethan ran first. Lena followed close behind him while Mira hesitated only a second before sprinting after them, because standing outside suddenly felt worse than whatever waited inside. The massive black doors groaned as Ethan shoved against them. For a horrible second, they didn't move. Then slowly, they opened inward. The smell hit them immediately. Not decay, not blood, old paper, dust, rain-soaked wood. The church interior stretched impossibly high above them, swallowed in darkness. Rows of wooden pews lined the room, disappearing into shadow. Candles flickered weakly near the altar, but the flames moved strangely, like they were breathing. And there, standing beneath the bell tower staircase, was the figure holding the notebook. A woman, middle-aged, pale. Still, her face looked exhausted in a way sleep could never fix. "You came," she said softly. Ethan stepped forward immediately. "Give me the notebook." The woman tilted her head slightly. "You still remember what it's for?" she whispered. Lena's eyes narrowed. "Who are you?" The woman hesitated. For a moment, she genuinely looked unsure, then quietly, "Grace," like she had pulled the name from somewhere far away. Mira glanced nervously around the church. "Please tell me you're not insane." Grace almost smiled. "Oh, sweetheart," she said softly. "You stopped being afraid of insanity after enough time here." That answer helped absolutely nobody. Ethan stepped closer carefully. "What is this place?" Grace looked toward the ceiling. Toward the frozen bell above them, Grace whispered softly, "A wound." Silence filled the church before Lena quietly asked, "What does that mean?" And Grace looked back at them with exhausted eyes and said, "This town feeds on identity, not flesh, not blood," pausing briefly before continuing. "It consumes memory until there's nothing left," causing Mira to cross her arms tightly and ask, "Then why isn't everyone here dead?" While Grace looked at her with deep sadness and whispered, "Because forgetting yourself takes much longer." The candles flickered sharply, and then the church bell rang once, making everyone jump as real fear crossed Grace's face, and she warned, "They found you faster this time." "Who?" Ethan demanded, and Grace slowly looked toward the dark corners of the church and answered, "The hollow." Something moved high above them, fast and unnatural, causing Lena to look upward as a thin figure moved across the rafters with strange, uneven motions. Its appearance constantly shifting as different faces flickered across it, like unstable memories trying to settle into one identity. Mira gasped softly. "That thing..." But Grace interrupted quietly. "It used to be people." The creature stopped moving and slowly turned its head toward them before smiling with Jonah's face, making Mira scream as the hollow dropped heavily onto the floorboards and rushed across the pews with unnatural speed, while Ethan quickly pulled Mira backward and Grace shouted, "Don't let it speak to you!" But too late. The creature tilted its head toward Lena and spoke perfectly in Jonah's voice. "Lena." She froze instantly. Not from fear, but from the strange familiarity of hearing her own name spoken in Jonah's voice, as though it touched something deep inside her memory. The creature's smile widened slightly. "It remembers you," Grace whispered in horror, as the hollow suddenly rushed toward Lena again, forcing Ethan to pull her aside just in time, while the creature crashed through the pews in a burst of splintered wood, its shifting form continuing to change rapidly in the darkness. Faces shifted rapidly across the creature's expression. Jonah, Sophie, strangers, old faces, young faces, until Ethan suddenly saw his own face staring back at him, making his stomach twist as Mira cried, "What does it want?" While Grace backed toward the altar, whispering, "To become someone again." And the hollow released a distorted, desperate sound before the church lights burst out, darkness swallowing the room as whispers surrounded them. Ethan, Mira, Lena. Their own voices echoing from the shadows, while Ethan switched on the flashlight, to reveal the hollow gone, but dozens of silent figures now sitting in the pews, their faces blurring strangely whenever the light touched them, and Grace warned softly, "Don't stare at them too long," before Mira shakily asked, "What are they?" And Grace answered immediately, "The Forgotten," just as one figure slowly stood, and for a brief moment its face became clear. Sophie, or something wearing her memory, whispering softly, "Ethan, why did you leave me?" Causing him to freeze until Grace sharply warned, "It's trying to pull you into the memory." But Sophie stepped closer, looking heartbreakingly familiar as she whispered, "You forgot me. I tried to stay with you, but you walked away." While the church air turned colder, and the hollow silently appeared behind her, with shifting expressions studying Ethan carefully, until Grace grabbed Ethan's arm and urgently whispered, "It can only become part of you if you let guilt consume you." While the hollow smiled faintly, and Sophie's face slowly shifted into Ethan's own features, before Mira suddenly screamed and everyone turned to see her staring at Lena in horror as Lena asked shakily, "What?" And Mira whispered, pale with panic, I can't remember your name," causing silence to fill the church while Lena stepped backward, terrified, and Mira desperately whispered, "I know you. I know you." As the hollow shifted excitedly in the darkness, because the forgetting had started again, and this time it was happening faster, until Lena noticed something even worse. Mira's reflection in the church windows was smiling softly, even though Mira wasn't.